Hi, I'm Wes Allen with DM Tales, and today I'm going to be doing a first look at the physical book for Candela Obscura. Let's roll it. So before I get started, I do want to give a shout out to Darrington Press, who very graciously sent me a review copy of Candela Obscura for this review. I have not gotten any other benefits except for the physical copy to give my free and fair thoughts, which I am always happy to do. Let's take a look at the design of Candela Obscura. Okay, so I am looking at Candela Obscura. This is just my quick look at the book itself. My full review is coming up. I'm about halfway through the book at this point, and it's mostly lore and then some playing the game sections that I need to get to. As you can see, this is a really gorgeous book. Kind of has a distressed logo on the front. The title is going to be on the spine. Again, distressed logo. And the back gives you a description of what the game is like. Not very thick. It is only about 204 pages. There is an extra back interior cover page here. No artwork on the interior covers on front or back. That actually kind of matches the style of the game, though, so it's not a knock. It is stitched binding, and they do include this gorgeous green book ribbon. I love my book ribbons. Anytime I get a book ribbon, I'm going to be really, really happy. The interior of this book is stunning, though. Everything that they chose, there's a very subtle texture to the contents of the book itself. And the reason why is because this book is presented almost like it is an artifact from the world of Candela Obscura. There are notes that are handwritten into the book. The design and some of the layout, like the tables, are designed to emulate the styles that would have been possible or common in the era that Candela Obscura kind of represents, which is about the early 1900s of our world. And the setup is basically like a early 1900s New York or London type game. That's the idea behind it. So it's really cool how they do it. I love things like the nice cutouts on these call-out text here. I like the little decorations for the bullets. The header fonts or heading fonts are really, really beautiful. And then one of the things I appreciate so much is how they designed the headers and the footers. So this is a style that I'm seeing more and more of. The headers are not in the actual head of the page, but they're in the margins of the page, in this case on the right margin. That's going to have your chapter title there. The footers of the book are going to be this cool kind of brownish, almost like a rust color, very light rust color, that has the title of the book in it. Really cool decoration with that eye, which I believe is part of Candela Obscura's iconography. And then the page number is going to be on the inner and outer margins of the page. There's that cool cutout there. And the page number is going to be a nice serif font that matches the color of the decorations. So really fun. Love the way that there's alternating colors in different tables. This is a very simple table here. Artwork is beautiful, but things are very cool. I mean, it's just creepy. And as I said, the book itself is presented as though it was an artifact from the world of Candela Obscura. In fact, it continually references your world instead of our world. And that's part of the immersion of reading the book. One of the immersions in the book are things like this. Now, these are actual kind of sticky notes that are placed in. The sticky notes wouldn't have existed in early 1900s, but, written notes with cool cursive font here. And in other places of the book, you are going to have writing that's directly on the back page. And it's one of my only complaints about the presentation of the book at this point. And it's because the text is just so small. I don't mind that it's cursive. I can write cursive and read cursive, which is not a common trait anymore for folks of certain ages. But it's so small that I find it difficult to read unless I enlarge it. So I might want to get the PDF just so I can read what the sideline notes are, because they do give you a deeper immersion into the world of Candela Obscura, which is a nice touch. I just wish it would have been presented in a way that was a little bit more accessible for folks with tired old eyes like me. So I said artwork is really cool, and I like the way that they present the core of the character sheet here, even before you get to how to set up a character, so that you kind of see the types of things that are going on here. And as it goes through, then you can begin to intuit what they are talking about. They do talk about gilded dice. That is a way to get your drive back in a certain area of action, which is cool. And I'll get into that in my full review. One of the nice things I do like about the design of the book is Candela Obscura does something that so many games attempt to do but don't do well. And the reason why is so many games, when they try this technique, is they get too bogged down into trying to cover every possible iteration of how a rule could turn out. And by the end of it, their example becomes much more muddying rather than clarifying. What Candela Obscura does in this book is they put down example text. So here's the body text that are going to show you how to kind of run this part of the game or have an idea of how to use a certain mechanic. And then down underneath this italicized text is the example. Those examples are punctiliar and they are clear. And there's no better way that I can put it. After reading the example text, I understand the body text better. And that should be like a well, duh kind of moment, but the reality is it's not. Like I said, so many games get bogged down in trying to show you every possible iteration that it becomes muddying. They make it clear, and that is an accomplishment that I love. They give you examples of how the mechanics work. And again, it's a very simple mechanic. You have a dice pool of d6s. I won't get into how you generate them. But 1 through 3 is a failure, 4 through 5 is a mixed success, and 6 is a full success. It's very similar to Blades in the Dark or Powered by the Apocalypse, which is, again, those are games they actually pay homage to in the opening of the book. Here is an example of how the tables are designed to be modern. The alternating row color is a key indicator of that, and yet the structure of the table is something that would harken back to the early 20th century. This is the type of justified table that you would find in books back then that dared to do stuff like that. And so it's kind of cool that they're able to pull that off. And here's an example of some of the written text, the notes that are here. This is actually pretty large. There's some that are very small, smaller than this. I can basically read this, and that's okay. More cool artwork, and then you get into making a character. An introduction to Candela Obscura. This is kind of your introductory letter that's kind of pushed into this book here. And they're going to teach you how to create your character from this point. And there's cool artwork for all of the different professions, I think, or what do they call it? Let's go back. Roles that you can choose. There you go. And then you choose a specialty from your role, and each specialty is going to give you slightly different benefits inside the game. And I also love the way the call-out text works with the cool border, top and bottom. The decor is just beautiful in this book. And I do love how they put the cutouts on the side of the call-out boxes, because that's a technique that I love to do myself. So I always appreciate it when other people do stuff that I actually enjoy. So coming up this week, I have my interview with Two Little Mice Games. Their game Outgunned is something I am currently reading. It is utterly insane. It works off of 80s action movie tropes and gives you a lot of different roles and types that you can play in order to do the game. And it is another dice pool style system. It's a real unique and cool way that they have it set up. I have another one of their books here on the shelf behind me. That is Household. That is a game where you play a bunch of little creatures inside a giant house that is having a rather tumultuous time, and every room in the house is a different nation. It is a gorgeous and huge package. I'm very thankful to Two Little Mice for sending me that for review, and I'm looking forward to digging into that as I get into some other games. I also have Adventurous, which is sitting there on the shelf right behind me on this shoulder. I do want to get into that. It's a nice rules light, fast style OSR type game. I've only perused that a little bit, but I am looking forward to digging into it a little bit deeper as soon as I get done my review of Candela Obscura. And after that, I'm hoping to read Marvel Superheroes. Finally, I've had that since August and have not even cracked it open yet, which I keep telling people. At the end of this week, though, I am really excited because for Friday and Saturday, I am going to be heading down to PAX Unplugged. If you're going to be there, please post a comment below and let me know. I would love to bump into you while we were there at the convention. I'll be wandering the different floors, and I am going to be running an index card RPG one-shot on Friday at 3 p.m. in the RPG free play area. Have a table assigned for that. If you're on the PAX Nav app, you can go to RPG free play and search for index card RPG. It's the second page. I think it's the 38th listing. There's some games that are being played. I'm looking forward to doing that. It's be my first time running at a con, so I'm kind of excited for that, and also going to be bumping into some cool folks as well. So that's what I have coming up. What are you all doing for your games? Let me know in the comments below. And until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.